Hello, I'm Matteo, the Chief Mobile Opinionist here at Tech Travel Geeks. And today we're going to do a side-by-side comparison between the Google Pixel 7a, here on the left in the lovely coral colour, and the Google Pixel 6a, here on the right in the green colour. Now, these are Google's budget smartphone offerings, and to Google this may be a budget price point, but compared to the rest of the market, this is nicely in the middle of the mid-range. Both devices are very popular and have been growing sales for Google in the smartphone market. So let's have a look at the Google Pixel 7a, which is the 2023 offering for the A series from Google, and the Google Pixel 6a, which is the 2022 offering from Google. Both devices are very similar. They borrow from the standard Pixel range in terms of the industrial design, and the Google Pixel 6a mirrors the Google Pixel 6 series with a black bar or a black visor at the back, whereas the Google Pixel 7a mimics the 7 series with a bit of a light metal matte finished visor at the side. Both devices are, as I said, mid-range devices that started off at around about £400 sterling or $400 US. And both devices are relatively light. Both of them are under 200 grams in weight. The Google Pixel 6a, the device from 2022, is actually slightly lighter. It's 178 grams. And the Google Pixel 7a, the coral one for 2023, comes in at 193 grams. So it is slightly heavier, and it does feel heavier holding it in the hand. Let's look at why. There's been some updates to the overall hardware and its construction. There's been various updates. The important thing to be aware of is both of them have plastic backs, and also both of them have Gorilla Glass fronts. So both have nice flat OLED displays at the front. Both are full high definition ones, which have a resolution of 2400 by 1080 pixels. The difference is in the refresh rate. It is a significant difference. The Google Pixel 6a, it has a 60 Hz refresh on the screen. It was a bit of a geek outrage at the time, but in actual fact it makes little or no difference at all in the use of the device. I really want to make this clear. I have been using this device for over a year and really can't notice the difference between this and the higher refresh rate screen of the newer model. It's not really a big issue. That's it. The displays are pretty much similar in terms of the size. The difference is the Google Pixel 6a one does get brighter in the appropriate conditions. Now, both devices have 6.1 inch screens. They're 6.1 in diagonal, corner to corner. They're both sort of elongated widescreen displays with a selfie notch in the middle. Now, the difference here in the selfie cameras that is in that notch at the top of the screen is quite noticeable in terms of the quality of the camera. So the Google Pixel 6a, the 2022 model, has, in this case, an 8 megapixel sensor there. And it works fine. It takes really good selfies. But in the Google Pixel 7a, the 2023 model, it makes a significant jump in terms of the output of that selfie camera. In this case, I'll just show you my ugly mug. It does take much better pictures, and it also has a slightly wider crop depending on how you use it in terms of the zoom. So you have a wider angle camera in my view, and it also takes better selfies, and both of them are built into the screen. Under the screen, both devices have under-screen fingerprint readers. Both of them are fast and responsive. They work well, in my opinion. The difference is that the Pixel 7a camera has that updated selfie camera, which means that for face unlock, it is more secure. Anyway, now that we've talked about the selfie camera and the basic screen things, let's talk about the cameras, because this is an area where the Google Pixel 6a got a bit left behind compared to the Google Pixel 7a. So let's have a look at that. You can see that the modules are more or less in the same space, but the visor for the Google Pixel 7a is actually slightly thicker and placed lower down on the device. You can just see it with the devices side by side here. And there's very little difference in the ergonomics because of this, but the key thing is that the cameras are very, very different. The main camera on the Google Pixel 6a was a 12.2 megapixel one, and it had a 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera. Whereas on the Google Pixel 7a, completely new sensor, it was a 64 megapixel one, and it had a 13 megapixel ultra-wide one. Both of them have automatic HDR capacity. They have dual LED flash. They can both take panorama pictures, and more importantly, both of them can record 4K at 30 frames per second and 60 frames per second. So really, really good. And the main cameras have optical image stabilization, which is great. That means that you can avoid taking shaky pictures, and in low light, in night mode, assisted by software, you get even better low light pictures. An important thing to say about both these devices, and one that makes the Pixel, in my view, one of the best brands for mobile phone cameras, is the fact that Google software is second almost to none because of their software. It just makes taking your phone out and taking pictures really, really easy. Now, obviously the Google Pixel 7a is a lot better because it has a bigger, better sensor, better software, but also, because, as I said, the software is really important. It's only as quick and as good as the chipset it's running on. So that moves us in nicely to the next difference between the two devices. The Google Pixel 6a had the first generation Google Tensor chip, whereas the Google Pixel 7a obviously got the G2 chip. Now, they're good chips. I've had no issues with them. Some people have reported overheating. I've never really had that issue, even with some heavy Call of Duty gaming sessions. But Google Pixel Tensor chip, the difference was that the Pixel 6a had 6 gigabytes of RAM, whereas the Google Pixel 7a had 8 gigabytes of RAM. Big difference there, which makes multitasking, processing camera pictures slightly easier. So in terms of cameras, there has been a significant upgrade there, which may have increased the weight slightly. But the big other difference is the actual charging technology. The Google Pixel 6a had no wireless charging, whereas the Google Pixel 7a does. It has that extra coil in here and it does charging. And the difference is that it also does faster charging itself. Both devices have decent batteries. So the Google Pixel 6a had a 4,400 milliamp hour battery. The Google Pixel 7a was almost there, but just marginally smaller at 4,385 pixels. And both devices charge at 18 watts wired, but the Google Pixel 7a, as I said, had wireless charging, and that's 7.5 watt wireless charging. Not the fastest one, but it's there. In terms of day-to-day battery performance, I didn't really notice a big difference. Even using the devices side by side equally during my time with them, which was around about 3 months of heavy use side by side, I can say that the Google Pixel 6a and 7a have similar battery life. But overall, reports and measurements in the industry indicate that the Google Pixel 7a's battery life is not necessarily as good as the 6a. So you get better battery life here. So we've talked about the batteries, which can make a difference. The overall construction looks very, very similar, but the metal construction of the sides is significantly different. The Google Pixel 6a had some sort of barrier between the shape and the main body of the camera and the screen, so it gave you the impression that the bezels were bigger. Whereas with the Google Pixel 7a, that seems to have been refined. It's slightly more rounded metal sides that go all the way around, and that means that it gives you the impression that it's actually slightly slimmer bezels and slightly better. In terms of the usual connectivity, both are 5G devices which connect to 5G. They also have the usual mix of Bluetooth 5. If anything, the Google Pixel 7a has the slightly newer. Google decided to put in Bluetooth 5.3 as opposed to Bluetooth 5.2 on the Google Pixel 6a. Both have NFC and are sort of flagships for showing off what you can do with NFC in terms of payments and syncing with your devices. It is really pretty good. And overall, great devices. USB Type-C, obviously, as all Android devices for the last few years. The speed of transfer speeds, they're both USB Type-C version 3, so fast transfer speeds when you need to get your content off the devices, and overall very pleasant to use thanks to that. The fast charging isn't the fastest charging we've seen, but it's fast enough for top-ups on the go, or when you're sitting on a bus or tram or train or plane. It's really good in that context. And for an upcoming trip to Rome in Italy, I am planning on taking the Google Pixel 7a, just because it is a very convenient device, because not only does it take a standard physical SIM card, as did the Google Pixel 6a, they both also support eSIMs. And we're going to be doing a future series here on the Tech Travel Geeks YouTube channel about SIMs and eSIMs and how those benefit you. Essentially, you have one physical SIM, a little card that you put into the device, but they also support a virtual SIM card, which, especially in travel context, is very, very useful. Anyway, I think we've covered all the main specs on the smartphone and the overall performance. Both of them lack courage ports, as is quite common nowadays. That means they have no headphone jacks. You can't physically plug headphones in. But the low power Bluetooth 5 makes that not so much of an issue. But if you do want to, you can get USB Type-C to headphone adapters, which solve that problem. Anyway, I am actually going to be giving away my Google Pixel 6a to someone who needs a new phone at the moment. We have a series of tutorials and how-to videos for Google Pixel devices already on the Tech Travel Geeks YouTube channel. Be sure to check those out. If you have any queries, feel free to leave us questions in the comment section below. Overall, both devices are ones that I can still recommend today. They're both really good smartphones, but if at the end of 2023 you're looking to buy one, I would say it's worth spending a little bit extra and getting the Google Pixel 7a, just because of the better battery life, more capable chipset and memory options, and just generally it is a nicer phone to use. Having that wireless charging is also a bit of a life changer if you have access to wireless chargers around your house, office, or Starbucks, wherever you are. Wherever you are, being able to charge your phone wirelessly is always handy. So that's 2022, the Google Pixel 6a, versus 2023, the Google Pixel 7a. Google, with the A series, have winners on their hands. I personally think these are great, and for most smartphone users, they're way more than they'll ever need in terms of capabilities, especially given how good the cameras are on these two devices. Check out the Tech Travel Geeks YouTube channel, where we have already published our long-term review of the Google Pixel 6a, and the long-term review of the Google Pixel 7a is about to be published. And as usual, if you don't already subscribe to us, do subscribe to the Tech Travel Geeks. We cover consumer electronics, gadgets, accessories, and pretty much anything else we think makes the travel experience better. Anyway, thanks for watching, and goodbye to the Google Pixel 6a. It's about to be retired. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.